let's start with open-mindedness. If you're like me, you were, for a certain part of your life, you were in a certain box. We could call it the box of carnism. It's an ideological box, and it made you think that, like Melanie Joy says, meat eating is normal, natural, necessary. You were just inside your safe box, and you were okay there. But then all of a sudden, you get a bit, you see the box move, get a bit restless inside the box, and then the light goes on, the box opens, and you jump out as a vegan, right? And you start talking about all these things, and you start realizing all these things, what meat eating or animal products consumption is connected to, environment, health, and so on. And then what happened to me is that I found that I was all of a sudden finding myself, to a certain extent, in another box, in the box of veganism. And I was noticing with myself that I wasn't listening very much anymore to others, to non-vegans. And I was thinking I had found the truth, and I was just repeating the same things all the time. So I was saying things like, veganism is this, and you're not vegan if you do that, and vegans are that. Like all kinds of things that were a given to me, that were like, that I wasn't questioning anymore. So, for instance, this cartoon illustrates it very well. Like, if there's, so I'm mostly vegan, but, and the other person here says, there's no, you're not vegan if there's a but, right? So there was no questioning anymore. And I agreed with this. And I don't think today that's a good thing. And I was always also going back, like I see many people do, going back to the definition of veganism. This guy, Donald Watson, invented veganism so many years ago, and we go back to his definition and that's a bit like a religion, like going back to the original scripture. And I found myself doing that again and again. And here's a good test, like to check your open-mindedness. This is an article, actually, I thought it was a pretty good article. Why vegetarians or vegans should be prepared to bend their own rules. How do you feel about reading this title? Are you motivated to read this article, or are you saying like, I'm not going to read that shit? You know? That's how you can test your own open-mindedness. Or can you imagine that maybe it's a little bit more complicated than this? Maybe this serves for purposes of external communication, but when we think about it, it may be a little bit more complicated. So what I want to say is, you can be liberated from the carnist box, but you can end up in another box. And just let me be clear, if you're in a box, it's much better to be in this box than this box, okay? But still, it's better to be not inside any box at all. And the way I put it sometimes is, being vegan means giving up animal products. It doesn't mean giving up thinking. So beware of dogma. What's wrong? Dogma is like not questioning things anymore, taking things for granted. And what's the problem with dogma is that dogma doesn't allow ourselves to improve. Okay, and we have to constantly improve because there's so much work to do, and we have to get ever better at it. Okay, so open-mindedness, these things can help you. Like, think about questions like, have I thought about this thoroughly? Have I really thought about this? Or am I just repeating something that I've heard all the time? Think about what information you might be missing. Think about what your own biases are when you talk to people, etc. And I say it like this: practice slow opinion. Slow opinion is about being slow in forming an opinion. Not like on Facebook, like right away saying like, it's like this, and I think like this, I think this or that. No, just take a break and think like, maybe I haven't thought this through, maybe I need to think about this a little longer. And you say like, for now I have no opinion. Or this is my preliminary opinion, and it may change later. Okay? That's how you, I think, practice open-mindedness.